that. All right. And we'll go live on Facebook. The Facebook didn't come up, Ashley. Sorry, it did too. It's right here. All right, let's go live on Mastermind with Neil Schwartz. A special guest today is Leigh Marcus from Chicago. Leigh, welcome. Woo! All right. Good job, good job, good job. Leigh, you've been on our show once or twice before in the last 3 years, since the March of 2020, correct?
That's right, yep.
And a lot's happened. We all kind of took a deep breath there in March and April of 2020, and then came out like gangbusters for about 18 to 20 months. And then the interest rates jumped up a little bit and kind of caused a little bit of a flurry, and then kind of settled down a little bit. So how's that craziness in the market over the last 2-3 years affected you and your team?
It's been great. I mean, I think it's this last year, ever since like July of last year when the market got much harder, I think that's been great for our team, for obviously for recruiting and for just selling homes as people realize that things are harder. So it's been excellent.
Good. So successful, hardworking people attract successful, hardworking people.
That's it. I mean, this is still an amazing market, right? This is still one of the best markets ever. It's just there's less transactions. So as a realtor, the only people that are like, if you're a seller right now, it's great. If you're a buyer, still good. If you're a realtor, appraiser, mortgage broker, like anything based on transaction volume, much worse, right? So, and if you're at the top of your game, it's great. But that's really the only people that are hurting right now are realtors and people, mortgage
side. Yeah, and well, some mortgage sides that are working hard are doing very well, especially if they're attached to great agents like yourself. So Leigh, give me a little bit of a Reader's Digest version of your market, where you work, size of your team, some production numbers, please.
Sure. So I'm in Chicago, and third largest city in the country. And we mostly used to just work the Chicago city proper, and now we've gotten smart and we work the whole Chicagoland area as our clients move there. So we up until about, so I've been in business licensed since 2005, so about 18 years now, and had a very, very small team up until probably 2021. So in 2021, I think I had about six agents, and we closed about 339 deals for 229 million in volume. And I was the lead listing agent. Since then, we've started to recruit more and spread more and train more agents. And so now we're up over 20 agents.
And on track for about how many transactions?
400 plus.
So the per person production dropped slightly. So yeah. How about your production? You being able to hold?
Yeah. So I was doing, correct. I was doing between 100, 150 deals a year, 200, some maybe even 200. And then now I'm spreading it out more amongst our team.
Got it. All right. So you're still the rainmaker.
Yeah, but right? Like I still do everything I normally do, but now just bringing people along with me.
Got it. So you'll bring somebody on the appointment, they'll do some of the work, they'll get a piece of the deal, et cetera, et cetera.
You got it.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Very, very good. So where's your business generally coming from? Are you buying leads? Are you generating leads? Are you doing combinations?
So no, so we are 53% of our business is past client center of influence. So PCCOI database is 53%. Over 20% is come list me or sign calls, right? Brand name recognition, whatever you'd like to call that. And then the other 25% is prospect, is expireds, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold.
Okay, good. So for a while, we didn't have a lot of expireds, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and when did that shift gears for you, and how did you take advantage of that? So 25%, when you say 25% of your business, it's not a huge number. However, when it's 25% of 400 plus, that's 100 plus transactions. That's a big number.
Yeah, we're really big on old expireds. So going back 2018, anyone that hasn't sold, right, above us. So I think we cut it off at about 600,000 minimum between 2018 and 2020, end of 2022 is old expireds. We still call obviously all the new expireds every day too, but the old expireds, old cancels.
Okay, so an old expired, how do you approach them? What's the script or the strategy there? Same old, or you got
so there's you'll notice, and if you're calling the old expired, you'll notice most agents can't get to them. There's just too many. I mean, if you go back 2018, 19, 20, I mean, it depends the size of your market, but there's just too many to it's a much different, now, let's be clear, still calling all the old expireds, all the new expireds, excuse me, but on the old expireds, okay, so if you want to role play that, so I'll call you Neil. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Neil, this is Leigh Marcus over at App Properties. I was calling to see if your home is still available.
No. That expired a long time ago.
Long time ago. Wow. I was looking at the photos. I was just surprised it didn't sell.
Well, just didn't sell, and we got tired of keeping it on the market.
I hear you, man. So you had it for sale, it didn't sell, and you got tired and sold no longer. So have you given up on your moving plans forever?
Well, not forever, but for right now.
Right now. Okay, perfect. So if you could get it sold, get a viable offer, get it sold in the next couple of weeks, what would you do?
Well, we would go to Florida.
That's exactly why we need to get together. I could be there today at 3, or would 4 o'clock be better for you?
We're so tired of this process, though.
No, I know. It's like you've been through it, right? You've probably heard this before too, right? That everyone's saying, a few times. Neil, I work with hundreds of clients just like you successfully who've had their home on the market with other agents. It didn't sell. Then I've taken it, listed it for sale, and gotten it sold in a few weeks. Where did you say you're moving to in a couple of weeks?
Florida.
Oh my goodness. No more winters for you.
Pretty tough Chicago winters, man.
Wow. So by the way, is it just you, or is there a partner or spouse involved?
No, it's my wife and I.
Wow. Who wants to move there more, you or her?
Well, right now it's a tie.
Tie. Okay. All right, cool. Would she be happy to be in Florida in a couple of weeks?
Thrilled.
Wow. You know what they say about happy wife, happy life, right?
I heard that.
So so Neil, again, I'm happy, I'm really glad I called you today. You sound great. Your home is amazing. I can't wait to meet you. So did you say 3 o'clock, or would 4 o'clock be better for you?
4 is better.
4. Okay, perfect.
Good job, Leigh. Good, simple.
Yeah, because on the old expired, you're not getting as much, you don't have to rush through it.
No, not nearly as much pushback. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't give you a lot of pushback because on a 2 or 3 year old expired, it's like, hey, howdy, how you doing?
Yeah. So a lot of what you'll get is, especially, so a lot of them rented it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, they rented it out, and so then you're just trying to figure out when the lease is up and setting an appointment. So we're really big on setting appointments in advance.
When you say that, what does that mean?
So let's see. So now it's April, right? So let's say the lease is up in October. Okay, so tell me the lease is up in October.
So the lease for us on this transaction is up the 1st of October.
Perfect. All right. So
the end of November.
All right. Wonderful. So at that point, would you want to re-rent it again, or would you rather sell it?
Well, that's a really good conversation. I think we really need to sit down and talk to you about that.
Yeah. And so when you think about that, well, by the way, yes, thank you. You do need to sit down and talk to me about that. I can be there today at 4 or 5 o'clock better for you. But the timing. So let's say the lease is up October 1st. Okay.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
With, usually with a lease, you have about 60 days before the lease is up to market the property, right? So that would be, so by the end of August, right? End of July, I guess, or early August, you can legally put the home on the market, right?
Yes, good, sure.
Perfect. Well, Neil, it's only a couple of months from now. Our most successful clients meet with us 3 to 6 months before we even put it for sale. So what would work better for you? Let's plan on today or tomorrow at 4.
Tomorrow at 4 works great.
All right, perfect. So if there's an opportunity, if somebody wants, if it's October, November, December, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I push the button, don't worry.
Yeah, we're setting that appointment for now to put a plan in place. Because Neil, let's be honest, are you a planner?
You bet.
So am I, man. I'm so glad to be able to sit down and talk you through this. This will be great.
Excellent. Great job. Very simple, very conversational. Sounds like you know your scripts and dialogues.
I hope so. A little bit. Yeah, thank you.
That was a leading question, Leigh.
Okay, yes. You be the judge, but yes, thank you. Yeah, that's many hours, right? As you know, that's many hours.
Many hours. You still practice? You practice with your people, or you practice for yourself?
Yeah, I practice. I role play with our team, and most importantly, because skills don't have a shelf life. I mean, you go on vacation for like a week. You know how like rusty you are when you get back after a week. So no matter how good you've ever been.
You mean Leigh Marcus gets rusty after a week or two?
I mean, and that first call, that could be $20,000 in commission that you just blew from being rusty. So yeah. Every day.
I wish some of my agents were on this call hearing that, because they don't think they need any practice. Not a lot, but a few.
Yeah, no, right. So it actually does 2 things. Number one, it keeps you fresh, right? And then you also obviously start to role play all the nuances and intricacies of like, okay, pretend you have, so as a driver, like an expressive is really hard for me, or like an amiable is really hard for me. So okay, let's pretend that you're an expressive, Neil. I'll be myself. And so anyway, you start to role play different scenarios, different personality styles, so it never ends.
Absolutely. So what you're doing is you're taking each one of the scripts and each one of the objections and then putting it into the 4 different styles.
Yes. Excellent.
Fantastic. So there's a lot of practice and role play. And if you do go away for a long weekend, you got to come back in and retrain yourself.
That's it. And then Mike talks a lot about, or Mike and Neil, you guys talk a lot about working the plan, PLAN, right? Neil, right? Right. Prospect, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate offers. I'm sure Mike has said this, but I think it's PPLAN, which is practice, prospect, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts.
One more P. One more P. Preview. Preview.
Yes.
One more pre, because you're doing this with your new people, I would suspect. And that is, if they don't know the inventory, how can they possibly know what's going on?
Sorry, you're exactly right. That is the number one thing you can do as an agent to grow your business is preview.
Could you say that again so I could cut that out and say Leigh Marcus said?
The number one thing you can do to grow your business is preview. And if you need a reason why, if you notice some of the best buyers agents who've seen tons of homes become the best listing agents because they've seen everything. They know the intricacies about this and that. Like the confidence that you walk into a home with when you've seen the neighbors and all of that. Preview.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Good stuff. Excellent. So expireds and for sale by owners are 25% of your business. Uh, and the old expireds are what you're working on specifically, or on the new expireds, do you call and visit, call, only visit, combinations? What are you doing there on the new stuff?
Call and visit.
Call and visit. So some top agents are doing that on a daily basis for a period of time. Is that your approach?
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing it?
Yeah. So call, go to the door. I mean, so it depends, right? Like if it's a hot one, you know, the home you love, like, you know, those, the way you're like, this is mine.
Right.
Or that, okay. You know, we'll go right after we call, right? So 8:05 a.m. we'll just go to those. But if the key being, you have to door knock also, because I don't like wasting time or being inefficient. So if I'm going to go to a door, I'm always going to door knock
around it.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, it seems like such a waste if you go to a door and door knock and then get back in your car and go somewhere else. Like you need, like, why wouldn't you you're there? Why not just door knock the whole block?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm being a little bit facetious because no. Because all that you're talking about that you're doing naturally and normally is all the things we teach on a daily, weekly basis. And the agents are rolling their eyes at me saying, why would I preview? Why would I door knock? Why would I do this? This doesn't seem to be good. How many deals again are you on track for this year?
400.
400.
Well, so I think agents make things too difficult and too complex.
Tell me what you mean.
So if you just think, okay, wait, so my job is I need to preview homes all the time. Okay, so preview, great. I need to communicate with my database every 90 days, at least talk to my database every 90 days, people that know me or I know.
Okay.
That's like gold, right? That's gold.
Right.
And then expireds, old expireds, FSBOs, and circle prospecting, just listed, just sold. And that's your whole job, right? So sorry, just me, like, not, just making it simple that if you're going to prospect 3 or 4 hours a day. So now you've committed to prospecting 3 or 4 hours a day. So now why not make that 3 or 4 hours as efficient as possible to get the highest results? So when I first started in 2005, 6, 7, but I started with Mike in like 2008, 2009. I think my ratios were 1 listing taken per 100 contacts, right? 1 listing taken for 100 contacts. As you practice role play, get better, it was like 80 contacts, 70, and then within a few years, it was like 60. But then the more you communicate with your database, because now you're going on appointments with your past client, it became like 1 out of 20 contacts was the listing. So
right. You're
still spending 3 or 4 hours, but you're just getting way more efficient with your time.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
So listing appointments, right? You go to on a listing appointment, whether or not you get the listing, you door knock the doors around.
Got it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes total sense. So is that what you're teaching your new agents?
Yeah.
So can you talk to me a little bit? We've got a lot of brand new agents or newer or agents that are actually struggling right now in the marketplace. What would you advise a newer agent? What are you advising? What are you advising your people?
Well, so as a new agent, we did not have anybody like you. We did not have a Neil Schwartz we can go work for, right? Or work with. So somebody that I had to seek out that, and a Mike Ferry and when you're the only person in an office that's prospecting, it is incredibly isolating. So sorry, I mean, as a new agent, I'm assuming like being around the people in your office that are all rowing in the same direction is probably very invigorating.
Yeah, well, we have the freestanding offices, and we also have the virtual office, where we role play 50, 60, 80 people every morning, Monday through Friday.
Right, but that's not normal for.
You mean
just saying
not
that.
everybody in the country does that? Okay, I'll take that.
So take advantage of that.
Uh-huh.
So what was your question?
What are you advising your new people to do right now?
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm teaching my agents to do is, so we subscribe to the 10% rule, right?
Okay.
That 10% of your database should give you 10, or your database should provide 10% closed deals. If you have 100 people in your database, you should get 10% closed deals a year. So
if you work it.
Yeah. What's up?
Right.
If you work it.
If you're working it.
So we're teaching our agents you need to build your database to 250, 500, 750, 1,000 people as quickly as possible. And so how do you do that? Well, if you're adding 2 people a day, right? If you're adding 2 people a day in 220 working days, you've already added 440 people to your database in 1 year. So if you start with 200, you're at 640.
Yeah, can I stop you for just 1 second?
Yeah.
Define who is at it. It's not pulling 400 names out of a phone book, right?
So, correct. So if I was a new agent, what I would do is I would go into your phone and I would find out how many contacts are in my phone. So let's say you have 400 people in your phone. I would download the entire amount into your CRM. Do you guys have a CRM?
CRM, Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, I would download every single one of them into that. No skipping. Aunt Frida and Uncle Joe goes in there too. And Rodney, your neighbor from 17 years ago, goes in there also. Every single person goes in there. Ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, whatever. And otherwise you'll spend too much time parsing your database. Do not do that. You just put them
a lot of deciding. You're saying no deciding.
No deciding.
Okay. All right.
You
Got it.
call the first person and you say, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Neil, it's Leigh Marcus. I joined a great company, Century 21. Century 21 Masters. Not sure if you heard. Sell a ton of real estate in the area. And I just had a quick business question.
What's that, Leigh?
I was wondering if you were ever buying or selling a home or knew someone who was. Do you have a realtor you would use or refer?
I mean, there's a local person here, but not really. No.
Great. I would love to be your go-to guy. From time to time, I come across valuable real estate information that people find helpful. I'll send that your way, okay?
Sounds fine.
Awesome. And what about you? When do you plan on moving?
Well, right now we don't have any, plans on it. We have a 3% interest in the market, 6%, but my family's growing, so you never know.
Wow. Well, how long have you lived there?
About 6 years.
6 years. Good for you. Where'd you move from?
Actually, cross town. You rented us that house and then we moved over here.
Awesome. So if you were to move, where would you go next?
I think we'd like to go back to that first area where we rented but couldn't afford.
Wow. And when might that be?
Like I said, right now, no plans.
No plans. Okay. All right. Perfect. So it sounds like you'd like to stay where you're at for now. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And just grow and burst out at the seams in your current place.
Right. I have 2 bedrooms and 1 bath.
Okay.
And we have a second kid on the way.
Second kid on the way. Excellent. And how long would you like to be squished for?
Well, I really didn't think too much ahead on that. I mean, the baby's due in 6 months.
6 months?
I guess it is going to be squishy.
Wow. Can I make a recommendation?
Sure.
Let's set a time to get together. We'll talk about your home search, what you're looking for, get you a backstage pass to the MLS with priority access to all the best deals so that you don't miss out or overpay on the perfect home. Sound good?
Sounds great. When can we do that?
Man, I'm so glad I called you today, Neil. What works best for you? Today at 4 or is 5 o'clock better?
5 o'clock's better.
Great.
Good job. Excellent. Love it, Leigh. So that's what we're going to give to the brand new agent. They're going to not miss anybody. They're going to put it in a CRM, make every one of those phone calls. Then what? Then they're going to,
Okay, so
but
then
they don't know but they don't know the scripts and dialogues as well as you do yet.
so okay, so you're gonna role play and practice. Well, they're in your office, so I don't believe that. But you're gonna role play and practice the just listed, just sold script.
Okay, got it.
So that because that is the language of real estate.
Okay.
The just listed, just sold script is the language of real estate, right?
Okay,
That's the
exactly.
Okay, so that's internalized. Then you're going to make the Mike Ferry, hey, do you have a moment for a business call, a business question? Ask for that. Okay, yeah. And then after you hang up, you will, okay, so you will text them and email them. That's why, I mean, we use Follow Up Boss, so whatever CRM you have.
We have Follow Up Boss.
You have Follow Up Boss. Does
Yeah,
everybody
we
have?
provide Follow Up Boss to every one of our agents.
Wow. Okay.
Well, we think it's a wow, and you think it's a wow, and they think it's
Okay. All right. So hold on. Okay. So then you would have, so the whole phone gets exported, no skipping, goes into Follow Up Boss, dial. You have a template in Follow Up Boss that you create or you have or whatever that says, hey, it was great seeing you, great talking with you today. Here's my contact info, and you do it, and you have that as a template in both the text and the email. So that as soon as you hang up, you just hit template text and you text them, and template email and you email them, right? So that takes 2 seconds. So every single person you talk to gets a text follow-up and an email follow-up. Cool? Is that
cool?
okay?
Absolutely.
So they have your info there, and then you send a card.
And then you physically mail a card.
Yeah.
Not a digital card.
No. So handwritten card, if you have your business card or whatever, but like you just handwrite 100 of them at the beginning of the week or whatever, and then you write Neil or whatever, and then you just or you have hopefully you have an assistant or somebody that does it. That would be ideal. But I would so then send that. Okay, great. Then they go into the smart list, and you set a smart list so that you call them back within 2-3 weeks. Everybody, you can't call those people quarterly because that's the first time they're hearing from you in a while, I assume. If you wait another 3 months, it's too long. So like you call them a few weeks to them, and say, hey, Neil, it's Leigh. Just want to see if you got my card.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, want to see if you have any questions, anything I can help with? No, great. All right. And then quarterly.
And then so at least 2 calls in the first month or month and a half.
Yeah.
And they get an email, a text, a postcard, not a postcard, but a card from you. And then they probably, if they're doing any interest like we did in our role play, they're also going to get on love the way you backstage to the MLS, so that they're going to get all the new properties that are come available in that old area that they might be interested in.
Correct. Yeah. In that case, we set a buyer consultation.
Got it. Okay. All right. Good. What about the previewing the property? When do they have time to do that?
So yeah, obviously with the daily schedule, with the ideal daily schedule, the previewing property is like 1 to 3 p.m.
Okay. Got it. Excellent.
Agnes asked, what kind of card do we send? Doesn't matter. Just send one.
A business card is what you're referring to.
Well, I just sent a handwritten card with
okay.
with
the business card attached to it.
Correct. Because nobody sends handwritten cards anymore. So Mike Ferry says do the opposite, do the 180-degree rule. So just send them. Got it.
Perfect. Love it. Excellent. Excellent. Good stuff. Okay. I want to respect your hard stop at 1 o'clock. So let's open it up to some questions right now. Questions for Leigh Marcus. And if we don't have any, I have a ton left to go. So let's go. Who's got a question? Raise your hand.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I see, Marcus, that you're reading the
John Maxwell books behind you.
Yeah.
What is the book that you can recommend? I know it's a leadership, but for the personal growth. Oh, I see. That's the best book. Okay. Mike Ferry.
Well, remember, who's this?
It's me, Mike.
Okay, so remember that and everybody seems to forget this, that today, when we started, when Leigh was around, certainly when I was around, there was nobody like Leigh around. When Leigh was around, there were a couple more people, but Mike, Mike's the creator of all of this stuff, and everybody poo-poos it and throws it away. And isn't it interesting how all the real superstars, the legends, and a legend is somebody that does 100+ transactions a year for multiple years. That's a legend agent. All of the legend agents, guys like Leigh Marcus, that are still doing it virtually the same way, kicking royal tush along the way.
So that, yeah.
Leigh, you've had 17 years to look at different options, a bunch of people, and look at different things all the time. Would you do this different if you had it to do over again?
I would have had more fun early on.
Very
I
interesting.
wouldn't have taken it so seriously. Take your goals seriously, take what you do seriously. But I would have realized early on that it was going to work out. You know what I mean? And I would also, when I was starting in 07, 08, I mean, that was some, like 2008 and the crash and all of that, that was pretty intense. But when I finally adopted the mindset, so there was a year, probably 2000. Okay, so 2011 was that was the low of our market. 2012, things started to get better. And I doubled my business. And in 2013, doubled business. Okay. As soon as I enjoyed what I was doing so much more, I got so much more business. Right? So I think, I don't know how else to say that, but I would have 100% faith that as long as you're doing the activities, it's going to work out, and just enjoy the process so much more.
Yeah, don't stress over it as much. People stress over it for the kookiest reasons. Agnes, let's see, Karen Myatt asked, do you leave anything at the door for the expired?
Yeah, if so we're making so door hangers with a recent sold on it would be great. Not anything in the mailbox, obviously.
Yeah, I sold this one. I can sell yours too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's an expired.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. Good. All right. Good. Other questions for Leigh, please?
I have a question.
Go ahead. Who's this?
Jack.
Hey,
Hi, Leigh.
Jack.
Yeah. So you use follow-up bots. What do you do for follow-up on people who say they may, you were notified by follow-up bots that they saw one of your listing email, they click on your website, look at your email, but sometimes they may not be the database. So it's really hard to, you call them, they don't answer. What do you usually do with these type of cold or warm lead?
Yeah. So you have a phone. Jack Ma, hi, by the way. Great to see you.
Yeah, I'm working from home today, so my daughter is sick. So
no worries, man. Good to see you. So if you have the phone number though.
Yes.
And they're in your database already.
So they could be, they may be a previous Google lead or whatnot.
Yeah,
they're not database people really.
They're a re-engaged lead, right?
Yes.
Okay. So great. So those are hand raisers, right? Mm-hmm. And there's always something there, right? Because let's say you have 10,000 people in your data in your CRM somehow. Not everyone is re-engaging. So there's a reason for that. So there's something going on, right? So we do a four touch program where I call them 4 times in the first hour. Yeah, if it's like if they came in from Google, I'd probably do it 2 times in the first hour. I'd probably call, hang up, call again, right? So do that right away.
Double dial. Mhm.
Yeah, double dial, and then I'd probably call another one. I would put an expiration on how long I have to get a hold of them, so that there's urgency. And so I would do it. I'd work as hard as I can to get them as right away or that day, and then maybe give it a day or two, or that's it.
I see.
So,
Thank you.
Jack, did you finish your question?
Yes.
Okay, great question. I appreciate that. Leigh, what that opens up is a couple of things for me. Number one, you're calling 4 times in the hour. Fabulous. I love that. 2 of the calls is an immediate callback, which is standard. You know, if somebody calls me twice, there's something wrong and I want to answer. I love that concept. But on the other 2, are you using the same phone number or are you shifting to another phone? Do you have another phone or 2 at your disposal?
Yes, but I don't know if I shift that much on it.
Okay.
I think it depends. I can see how if it's like a new expired, I can see that. But like if they're in my CRM for whatever reason, that also means they're getting my weekly email. You know, like there's something.
I understand.
There's
I
something.
understand.
Yeah.
But the issue, I guess, that I'm coming to, maybe you don't have it in Chicago, is a lot of our phones are getting spam, that this could be spam, right?
Yeah. Well, your follow boss number should be whitelisted, probably.
Okay.
Like it's
Tell me.
right? So
I
I
understand.
think if it's whitelisted, it won't, even if they mark it as spam, maybe it blocks them, but blocks you for them. I don't know. But I don't. So that's why it's like, let's say it's a new Google lead. I'd probably do that twice, not 4 times. If it's but if it's somebody that, yeah, somebody's in your database or something, like a hand raiser like that, but what do you do if you get marked as spam? I don't know. I think you, your FUB number should be whitelisted somehow. So it
Okay,
doesn't.
got it. Perfect. Excellent. Other questions? Oh, we have Melinda asked a question. How much time do you spend working with your team versus in production for yourself?
So it's kind of the same thing. So like when I'm prospecting, right? I'm prospecting for myself and to help disseminate to the team and training and all of that. And then when I'm training them, that's really for me to hone what I'm saying, right? Like that's Neil, right? When you train on things, you get better at them. So
Correct.
What is not, if I'm just answering random questions, yeah, that's not for me. But like, yeah, how much time do you spend working with your team versus in production yourself? Okay. I do the job of a listing agent every day, and the team comes with me or watch it. I'm there with them, right in the office, doing it all there. So a lot of it is my production, or me proactively prospecting or role playing or teaching.
Got it.
That's what you're asking, Melinda?
Yeah. Melinda?
Yeah, that's kind of the general idea, is like what percentage time do you spend doing each thing, kind of?
Yeah, like I don't do a lot of like one-on-ones with people, right? Like if I'm going to talk about something, I do it in a group setting.
Well, you might have done one-on-ones when you were 6.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so here's a question that I need the answer to for these teams. How much time do you give your team members to get it or get out?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Tell me what does that mean?
So we have like a 2-week boot camp of it's totally just script practice, right? Script and role play. And then you're on the phones after the 2 weeks.
And then, but you're not you got through boot camp, you got through that, all right? And you need, of course, help putting the deal together. You're pretty new.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. But yes, yes.
But how much time there do you give somebody that's not doing deals? They just don't get, they're not even bringing you deals.
45 days.
So if they're not in production in 45 days,
Well, yeah,
they're
because you just look, if you're doing your, okay, so if you're doing all your follow-up boss tasks, right? If you're clearing your smart list, you are making 100 dials a day, 150 dials a day, 200 dials a day, and you're not doing a deal within 45 days, you are repulsive.
you're pushing people away, they're not pushing you away.
Yeah, yeah, then
I understand. I totally get it.
then-
Very, very interesting. Okay,
But usually it's more like, oh, you're not making your calls.
right.
So,
But if you're doing those things, you're repulsing people somehow.
and then we can work on your scripts, or but that means you're not practicing. So I have a lot of grace for people that are doing the activities and open to coaching and working on it and getting better. That's okay. You know,
Okay, but they need to be doing all the activities, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
right.
Got it.
Yeah, because if I'm going to put in with you, you need to be putting in like vice versa, right? It's a two-way street.
Right. Okay, cool. All right. So do you have somebody on you need to get going?
Go ahead.
You're good? Okay. You felt like you,
For Neil Schwartz, my calendar, like I'd give you a year, whatever you need. I've learned so much from you. So
you are the best. By the way, Leigh, when do you plan on moving? Leigh, Chicago's nice, but Newport Beach, whew, don't ask. Beverly Hills is a little bit of a pain because some extra tax they threw on there. You heard about the extra mansion tax, right? So in LA City, which takes on Bel Air and a number of those areas, Los Feliz, they have if you sell a house for 4.5 million to 10 million, there's a 4.5% tax over and above every other cost. Okay. And 10 million and above, it's 5.5%. So on a $10 million house, that's $550,000 plus the commissions, plus the taxes, plus the transfer fees, plus the escrow fees, plus the termite fees, whatever you normally pay. So a lot of the LA County people that are big players are moving into Orange County right now. So I was curious, Leigh, when do you plan on moving?
yeah, no, that's a great opening line.
Anyway, sorry. Tell us more about, Carol asked about your daily schedule. Do you have a daily schedule now with the team so large?
Yeah, yes. The team is only a what do you got it call in
addition to,
it's a reflection of me here. Okay, so here, can I share my screen?
Please. I think you can, but yeah. Well, it looks like my calendar.
So that's, and then practice. It's 7 o'clock role play.
You're at 7 a.m. role play. So wait a minute. 7 a.m. role play for you, but not for your team?
No, and my team too. We have a core group of probably 6+ now that every day.
Awesome. And you're 2 hours ahead of us? Fantastic. So wait a minute. Your team is with you role playing at 7 o'clock in the morning in the office or on Zoom?
In the office. Right now in the office. Yeah, we do on Zoom later in the day, other days, but yeah.
Excellent. You don't show up for role play and you committed for it? You don't get leads?
We haven't had to do that yet for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're, I'm there, you're there. Like, yeah, that's,
I'm there, you better be there. Unwritten.
yeah, that's, yes. And then the people that will.
Right. I mean, the people that won't
I mean,
won't be there.
yeah,
very
I
long.
think it's like if how many new agents or what percent of his new agents?
In our company,
Yeah. Or newer.
well, newer, gotta be in the new merged company, probably 100.
Yeah.
Newer, that you and I would consider new.
Because I think a lot of the newer agents or new agents don't realize like what a good market this is. I think, right? I don't know what that interest rate, everything, but like,
No, we think it's a great window of opportunity, tremendous window of
I mean,
opportunity.
you list a home and it sells. That's not how it was for a long time. This is still like amazing market. So work your database, increase the number of people that you have in there. Get them to commit to you, communicate with them every 90 days. Follow the system.
Fantastic. All right, other questions for Leigh Marcus?
Yes, I have a question about that. As far as I know, if you mentioned add all your contacts to a CRM and then give them a call, right? Doesn't matter what it is, just call everybody. But let's say they're not responsive, or how many times would you follow or give them a call to later say, you know what, I'm just gonna get rid of this person?
Yeah, so they're in your phone for a reason. They got in there somehow. Even if it was Joe Landscaper, they're in there. So if I would call through, I'd call through the whole list a couple of times, and then whoever didn't answer, I would start texting them with like, hey, got a moment? Got a moment?
Okay.
And yeah, try and get a hold of everybody. They're not random people, even if you think they're random, they're in your phone. So I would try to get hold.
The reason I'm
hold of
saying
every
this
single one.
because I have so many people that I haven't talked to in probably a year or 2 or 3 years. And
Eddie, hey, Eddie,
yes,
we have a couple of scripts in our rapid fire role play that you could use easily for that phone call, just as an information, and I'm a resource. Okay, so don't worry about that one. Call me later and I'll give you a couple of those. Okay.
also one more. What if they say, oh yeah, I'm working already with a realtor. I have my realtor that can help me.
Great. Yeah. Okay. So if they say they have a realtor, right?
Yes.
Yep. So you give them space to talk, because a lot of times they'll say that. And if you just don't say anything, or you just, they'll say something else, such as, but I don't really know them, or, but I don't really, like, whatever. Okay. And if they don't say anything like that, you say, okay, great. Well, listen, I understand. It sounds like you got somebody you feel comfortable with, Eddie?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Would you be open to keeping me in mind for anyone else you hear that might be looking to buy or sell real estate?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Great. And then, right, so like, then I would, because what's the chance that that person's realtor is actually going to call them in 90 days or 30 days or every 90 days?
Yeah, correct. Unlikely.
So it's very rare. I mean, once in a while. So I'd say one out of 10 actually has a realtor that they're committed to, which is scary if you think about your past clients.
Yeah.
That you think are committed to you. If a random person calls them and asks them if they have a realtor they trust or are committed to, or that they would use. So 1 out of 10 might be 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10. The other 8 out of 10 are not. And you'll hear something like, well, yeah, my brother's a realtor, or my aunt is a realtor. Great.
Right.
Well, and you'll get a sense that they have to use that realtor but they would not refer them. So you can ask them, well, I'll get that. So would you refer your aunt to your friends and family, your friends? No, I don't think they're that good. I just have to use them. Okay, great. Does that make sense? So I would open just the fact that you're calling them sets you apart from anybody else, and the fact that you're asking the question. And then, so Eddie, listen, not every realtor is the right realtor for every person. So would you be open to having a second option?
Yeah.
Great.
Sounds great. Excellent stuff. Good
Thank you.
question, Eddie. Thank you. Leigh, fantastic. Other questions for Leigh Marcus, Chicagoland's finest. In fact, Leigh, let me ask you a question. Is there anybody that actually does more business than your group in Chicagoland?
Right now, yes.
Very good answer.
Not
Okay,
for a while.
but not for a while.
Correct. Yeah, we
Got
have
it.
so yeah, in the markets I target and market, we have #1 market share in Chicago land. Yes, for now.
Got it. Excellent. Fantastic. Good stuff. Other questions for Leigh Marcus, please.
Yes, I have a question. Hi, Leigh.
Go ahead.
Hi.
For the seller leads that you have in your database from calling just listed, just sold, and you're following up with them, are you checking like their local market before calling them, or are you just using the lead follow-up script?
Say that one more time.
For the seller leads that you have in your database from just listed, just sold calls, when you're calling to follow up with them on, the possibility of them selling, are you checking their local market for just, for recent solds to talk about that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, got it. I would do that on the fly if you can, right? I wouldn't stop, research it, whatever. I would do it as it's dialing. And then I just use the Mike Ferry lead follow-up script, which is just ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, it's Leigh Marcus over at Properties. I was just calling with 2 quick questions. Number 1, are you still thinking about selling your home?
We're still thinking about it, but it'd probably be later in the year.
Later in the year. Okay, perfect. With that thought in mind, can we set an appointment for this week to talk about getting you a great price?
Don't you think it's a little too early? Like, we're not sure.
I totally understand that. Our most successful clients meet with us 6 to 12 months before we even list their home for sale to put a plan in place. So how does, would today be good or is tomorrow better for you?
Okay, good. Tomorrow.
But then, no, you are right. So let's say, and I can't see whose name this is. Who is it?
Adriana.
Oh, hey, Ayana. Okay, great. I know. So let me ask you this. Ideally, when would be the best time for us to meet then?
Ideally when the kids are out of school, and so summertime would probably be best.
Summertime. All right, wonderful. So is that July or June for you?
Probably July, the middle.
July. All right, wonderful. I'm looking at my calendar right now for July, right? So the 1st of July right now is like the 1st is Monday the 3rd. That's the 3rd, 4th. So maybe like Wednesday the 5th. How does Wednesday the 5th work for you?
Yeah, we could set that for now, and then I guess we get closer to if it still works.
And what's better, morning or afternoons?
Evenings.
Evenings, great. All right, so 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
6 will be good.
All right, wonderful. So let's plan on Wednesday, July 5th. I think that's what it was. Yeah, at 6 p.m. Now, before we go, can I ask you one quick question?
Sure.
Okay, is there any scenario where where are you looking to move again?
We're looking to move to Long Beach.
Long Beach. Okay, great. Have you seen anything that you like?
We have a neighborhood in mind, but it all depends on the numbers and things like that.
All right, awesome. So let's plan on that, July 5th. But is there what if like the perfect home comes up or anything like that? Can we talk sooner?
We could. I just don't know what we could do at that point.
All right. So do you see anything you don't see yourself buying or anything between now and then?
I mean, it's possible. We would, need your direction, your help with that.
Sorry. So I'd set the appointment for when they say, and then I would backtrack to try and see if I can set it earlier in the same conversation.
Got it. Okay. Because some of them do say things like that, like they're not sure. Like, yeah, maybe. And you're like, okay, well, how do I tie them down?
Yeah, absolutely. Tie them down for whatever date they will say.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
And then try and get it earlier, or just keep following up. Like, hey, I know we're supposed to meet July 5th. I'm excited. I'm available earlier if you'd like, right? So just keep in touch with them about that.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, good work. All right, let's give Leigh Marcus a big hand. Everybody unmute yourselves, unmute yourselves.
Thank you, Leigh.
Woo!
Thank you, Neil.
All right, all right, all right.
Thank you, Leigh. Thank you,
Good
Neil.
job.
Good job.
That was fantastic, Leigh. Absolutely fantastic. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a few minutes and go around the room and see what agents learned. You're welcome to hang out with us, or if you need to move on, we totally get it. We just can't be happier or more thrilled with the work that you did with us today. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you is
Well,
not
thank you guys.
enough.
Thanks for having me here. Great to see you, everybody.
Fantastic. Thank
Have
you
a good one,
again.
guys. Bye.
Thanks, buddy. Be well. Woo! All right. Good stuff. Let's get back on the screen here. I love that. That was great. Okay. Questions. What did you learn from Leigh Marcus this afternoon, I guess? Who wants to go first? Raise your hand, speak out. Tess, go ahead, jump in.
Leigh is the CEO of his business.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
He runs his company, he knows what to do, and he runs it well.
Yeah, absolutely. Great thought. We can all learn from that. You bet. What else did we learn today?
Leigh knows his scripts super, super well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else did we learn?
Don't wait until you got the system or anything perfect. So you just jump and do it. For example, what he did on the database, it's really awesome. For example, me as an analytical, I will start to group B, this, I haven't spoken in a while. So just take action and move forward on that.
I thought the way he described that and the way to get started was the simplest, most brilliant thing I've heard in a long time. Anybody can do it. There's a particular rule. Don't make changes. Just put everybody into Follow Up Boss. And it is, shameless plug. We do provide that for all of our agents. Same software. And go to it and just make the phone calls. And also, Hunter, who helps us with all of that, getting it going, will help us with the email and the text. And all he wants suggesting is one email, one text, and then a notification on when to call back. I mean, it's kind of simple to get started. We even have other emails and texts that you can add, but the bottom line is just get to it. And simply done, call all the time. Just be calling, be focused, be terrific, be simple, conversational. All right, and oh yeah, preview property and learn the scripts. Oh my gosh, he looked at me like I was kidding with him. And I mean, how many times have you guys heard me say that to you over the last 3 or 4 years? Tyrone, what do you think?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
More than once?
More than once, sir.
More than 30?
More than 30. It's been a lot.
More than 40?
Every day.
Yeah, every day. How about every day?
Got it.
Oh, I hope so. All right, what else did you learn today? Hello?
Can I speak?
Please.
So I just like it how his approach to the old expireds. He don't acting pushy on them. He just try to find the motivation real,
Mhm.
and that's amazing.
No, just to find it, just to talk to them, and maybe they want to do something and maybe they don't. And the scripts that we teach every morning can help you open up the conversation with him. Isn't it interesting? What did I go to in the script practice I did with him in the beginning when he said, "Where were you going to?" I was going to Florida. Why were you going to Florida? My daughter lives down there. And he didn't continue that way because we cut it off. But that's what people do. They actually do the scripts in many, many cases if you will make the phone calls. What else did we learn today?
Yeah, I got something.
Please go, Joey.
All right. So one thing that I took away was make sure to have fun. Don't take yourself so seriously. Take your business serious and stop being so hard on yourself, especially if you're a newer agent.
Yeah.
I thought that was a big thing because I was kind of feeling like
it is. You are not light on yourself, Joey, and you should lighten up a little bit. And
Yeah.
It'll help you be the great agent that you are becoming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else? What else did we learn?
Well, he talked about knocking on expired doors and then all the houses around there.
Yeah, stuff we teach all the time. You know what I'm finding interesting is when an agent comes on to our interview and they talk about things that are slightly different than you've heard before. You guys are all chatty Cathys and chatty Johnnies about, oh, that was great, and oh, that was a great idea, and oh, that was a great idea. But when you hear somebody putting together deals for 400, on track for 400 deals, and he's doing it the way we've been teaching you, it gets a little quiet here, okay? And that's because you already have the magic pill. Some of you are not using it. Drives me.
Feel that it's a little bit of unbelievability to some people.
Okay, maybe, Armin, maybe, but do you think he's doing, Armin, the activities that he says he's doing, or was he just trying to lie
No,
to
I
you?
think he's doing it every day.
Okay, anybody doesn't agree with that thought? So we should do it. We should. It's out there. It can be done. I will continue to teach it. I've been teaching that for almost 50 years. And we didn't have in the beginning the Leigh Marcuses to point to, the Neil Weichels, the Karen Bernardis. We didn't have them to point to. And now we have them to point to. We had blind faith was what you would hear all the time, blind faith. Now we don't need blind faith. We have these people that you can actually see and touch and talk to. Okay, I don't have anything else here except you got to keep doing what you're always doing, or you have to change what you've always been doing because it's not going to change for you. Okay. Okay. Who's next? I have Jesse here, or is Ashley here?
I am here. Give me a moment. Let me double check who is up.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So
I
it
should have
looks like,
signed up for 1 o'clock.
Okay.
oh, too bad, Arvin. It's Chet. Mr. Chet has the floor at 1. Then
Chet,
go to Frank, Tony, and Florence is going to end us off at 4.
All right, fantastic. Ruth Q, I'll call you in about 5 minutes. All right, everybody. Good job. Let's just do what he says to do in between now and the Superstar Retreat. And if it didn't work, you have a chance to beat him up on it. If it does work, you have a chance to buy him a drink. Either way, it sounds like a winning possibility. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Appreciate it.